Hey guys, today we are going to be looking at the most forgettable mobs in Minecraft, in my opinion. These are mobs that you just don't remember until you come across them, or you completely forget they're in the game. So, first I'll put myself into survival. Alright, so the first mob we're going to look at is the polar bear. It was introduced in 1.10, and it lives in cold, snowy biomes, and it's, a forgettable mob, of course, because you just never come across it that much. And when you do, you don't really think about it. And it's a neutral mob, and it will sometimes drop a type of fish on death. But otherwise, it's completely useless. There's no point for having it. Like, the only slightly unique feature is that when you come near its cubs, it will attack you, and that's the only unique thing about it. So you completely forget about it, and it's you just forget about it until you walk too close to one of its cubs and it starts attacking you. Next is the Endermite, and the Endermite is a small little bug-like creature which will spawn in when an Enderman teleports or the player teleports with an Ender Pearl. And it's such a small chance that you'll only come across them like once or twice maybe when playing through a normal survival world. And if an Enderman spawns one, it kills it right away, so you're never really going to run across one unless you're deliberately trying to get one to spawn with your own Ender Pearl. So, another forgettable mob that you're not going to come across. Next one is the mule, and to get a mule, you need a horse and a donkey, and you need to breed them. Oh, but these ones aren't tamed, so I can't breed them. But just pretend that I can. So, yeah, the mule spawns when you breed a horse and a donkey. And there's no reason why you'd really want a mule. It's basically just the same as a donkey. And it's not something like, and the only time when you need one or want one is when you try and spawn one yourself, because they don't spawn naturally, and you're only gonna find one you go out of your way to get one. And I just put that in the wrong barrel. Oh well. Alright, next is the skeleton horse. The skeleton horse is just like the regular horse, but a skeleton. You can't tame the ones you spawn with a spawn egg, but you can find them in survival, and you find them during thunderstorms, and they're very rare. It'll in an event called a skeleton horse trap. So you'll find one, and when you walk up to it, lightning will strike, and 4 more will spawn, all with skeletons riding on them. They drop bones when they're killed, and they're so rare, and you barely ever find one. So you're really lucky to find one of these, and if you find one in survival, you can tame it. But otherwise, you just forget they're there, unless you get really lucky and manage to find one. And you need to be really lucky, because I've never found one yet. Alright, next is the zombie horse. It doesn't spawn survival, and it can only be spawned in with a spawn egg, and you can only get a tame one through using commands. See, we can't mount it. So, the zombie horse is a completely forgettable mob. It has really no use, unless maybe making a map or something, or playing in creative, messing around. But otherwise, useless, and you forget about them. Alright, next is the Ocelot after the 1.14 update. Since in 1.14 the Ocelot and the cat were split, and now they're their own separate mobs. And the Ocelot is now useless because you can't tame them to make them into cats. So it's just a useless mob that exists, and it always runs away from you. And there's no reason you should go out looking for an Ocelot anymore. So, making the Ocelot forgettable and very useless. Next is the Giant, which can only be spawned in using commands. And what it is a giant zombie. It has no AI or any sounds, and its hit sound is just the same as the players. It has a ton of health, and drops a lot of EXP on death. But otherwise, it has no use. It doesn't even have any AI, and it just falls into obscurity, and it's useless. Like, a lot of these mobs, which some of them are mostly just useless, that's why they're forgettable. Next we have the Illusioner, which is a special type of illager that doesn't spawn in naturally, only through commands. And the illager is one of the coolest mobs in Minecraft. As you see, it just created 4 clones of itself. And you need to find the right one, which is the real one. It is a little buggy though. That might be why it's not in survival. Because sometimes you attack the clones and they won't die. And they can also have a spell attack if it will use it. That will inflict blindness on the player. I don't know if he's going to use it or not. Oop, I need to eat this golden apple. But the Illusioner is such a cool mob, and it's such a shame it goes completely unused. So, thought he was going to use his blindness attack. We're going to attempt to kill this thing. No, we'll just leave it be. Alright, it's going to chase me? No, good. Excuse me. But the Illusioner, it's a mob that's in the game, except there's no way you can find in survival. Next is the brown mushroom, which was just added in this update. Why I think this is forgettable is because mushrooms are hard enough to come across already, and I'm pretty sure not a lot of players know about this feature. But first you need to be thundering, and you need to get a mushroom to be struck by lightning, and then it will turn into a brown mushroom, except it died. Oh, here we go, here's one. It's pretty much the same as the normal mushroom, but what makes it different is how you can milk a mushroom for mushroom stew. You can also milk it for mushroom stew. Oh, creeper. Get away from me. But if you were to feed a flower to a mushroom first, then milk it, you'll get a suspicious stew, which is a new food item in 1.14, where, husk. If you eat it, depending on what flower you use, it will give you a random, or not random, but depending on what flower, it'll give you a certain potion effect. Now let's clear the weather quick, because the mobs are spawning in now. And so not many people know about the brown mushroom, it seems. So another forgettable mob. And last, we're gonna look at the killer rabbit, another unused mob that can only be spawned in using commands. Ooh, it's got some very nasty sounds. It's a rabbit which attacks you. It was only in the game for just a little bit, but then removed and just kept in commands. And it's kind of a shame they removed it. It's such a unique mob, and it would be cool if they kept it. It has the same health as a normal rabbit, and it's a pretty threatening mob because it'll chase you around and attack you, and it does quite a bit of damage, especially on hard mode where it can take you out in only a few hits. But it's forgettable because it's not in the main game, and it's only in with commands. like a lot of these mobs, and it would be cool to see if some of these mobs were given uses or would be put in the main game, but unfortunately not. Alright, and that will do it for all the forgettable mobs. These are just my opinion. These aren't in any order either, of most forgettable to least forgettable. They're just, I find them all kind of forgettable. And yeah, that's it. So, hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you later.